Hi, my name's Alastair Puddick. I'm a writer. I've just had a book published, The Unexpected Vacation of George Thring, and it's out on sale on Amazon now. What got me into writing? I've always written. I'd kind of had a career for about 15 years as a journalist and copywriter, editor, that sort of thing. So it's always been my sort of day job. I've kind of always written short stories, etc. And I just always fancied writing a novel, so had an idea one day. Took me about 5 years to do it, but finally got there in the end. The inspiration comes from, I don't know really. The story's about a man essentially that's kind of a bit tired of life, and he's working in a job that he hates and just kind of daydreams about escaping from life. So I think that probably comes partly from jobs I've had in the past that have been a bit tedious and a bit boring, and I think it's probably something that everyone can relate to. Obviously he then goes on to have some pretty kind of strange, wacky adventures. Quite where the inspiration for that came from, I don't know. Just kind of, as I was writing, I came up with different ideas for what might happen to the character, and that's kind of really where it came from. Kind of goes off on this sort of strange little journey by accident, and all of these crazy things happen, and he ends up in the middle of a bank robbery, and I won't tell you too much more after that because it will spoil the story, but yeah. Copywriter. I work out in Guildford for a marketing agency doing lots of bits of copywriting, fairly standard stuff, emails, web copy, direct marketing stuff. It's quite interesting, quite good fun, but if I'm honest, I prefer doing the novels. Yes, I'm going to write another book. I've started on it already actually. I've written about 11 chapters so far. It's coming on at a reasonable pace. I'd like to kind of devote more time to it and get it done quicker, but it's going well so far. Well, the book sort of got off to a really good start actually. Quite a lot of people went out and bought it. Thankfully it wasn't just my friends and family. It sort of got quite far up the charts. It got into the top 100 on the Kindle paid for list, so I think it got up to number 47, and it also got up to number 1 in the humorous fiction book, so it was been listed as the number 1 bestseller in Amazon humorous fiction, which was really good actually, because it's such a hard thing to get a book published, and kind of an even harder thing then to get people interested enough to buy it. So the fact that a lot of people went out and bought it has been absolutely amazing, been really brilliant. So kind of, if anyone out there's bought it, thanks very much, it's very much appreciated. It's funny actually. A good friend of mine, Helen, well, I remember chatting to her a while ago and saying, surely everybody wants to write a book. And she said, well, no, not everybody wants to write a book. I've got absolutely no intention of writing a book. And it just seemed a bit strange to me, because I think something inside of me has always just assumed that everybody wants to do it, everybody wants to write a book and have it published. I think in my own personal experience, I always probably knew that it was going to happen, so it was always kind of inevitable, I suppose, that I certainly would sit and write a book. I think if that's something you want to do, it's all about determination, really. The only way that you're going to write a book is if you sit and write it, simple as that. So you have to be prepared to put in a lot of hours. It takes a long time to write a book, and you just got to be determined and get it done and finish it. In terms of actually writing, the best advice I think I ever read or heard was to read a lot, because that's where you learn kind of how to do it. You learn what sort of things you like, you learn a bit more about yourself as an author and what you want to write and how to do it, and read as many different types of book as you can, because if you only ever read one type of book, then you only ever going to know one style of writing. So read as wide as you can, read as much as you can. It's all about sitting down and actually doing it. It wasn't as easy as I would have hoped. I don't think I was naive in the fact of how difficult it is to get a book published. I got a bit of experience from some of my work as to just how tricky it is to get books published, and know a little bit about the industry. So I knew it wasn't going to be an easy thing, and much like probably any writer that's been published recently, I sent the book out to lots of agents, lots of publishers, and have got a big stack of rejection letters, but just got to keep going and keep going. It took about a year after the book was finished and edited, it took about a year to get someone interested to publish it, and I was very lucky. I sent out to lots and lots of people, and one publisher came back saying that they really liked the book, wanted to publish it, and kind of it went from there really. If you think your book is good enough to get published, just keep going and keep going and keep going. If you get to a point where you've still got no success, maybe that's a time to have another look at your book, see, is it as good as it possibly could be? Is it the best thing I could possibly have written? It could be that maybe that book's never going to get published, but that doesn't mean to say that the next one won't. So write another book, or write another book, you know. If you really want it to happen, then just keep going, because you've got to make it happen for yourself. It's not just going to come around the corner and knock on your door for you. So currently the book's available only on Amazon at the moment. It's available as a paperback, as you can see, and it's also available for the Kindle. Currently priced $1.99 for the Kindle. I don't know how long it will be that cheap, so if you want it, go out and get it quick, because it might go up, I don't know. I don't control the pricing. And hopefully, if it's successful enough, we might get it into the shops as well at some point, but at the moment, Amazon, that's where you can get it. For Kindle, it's $1.99. For the book, I think it's currently about £5.20. But again, I don't know, and the prices kind of go up and down on Amazon, so